Oh no. That just gave me the chills.
We'll call you DJ Damas. Like Ulster Damas or DJ Damas.
Fire has made its way to his seat.
Hello. Play to win the game.
You never know.
Welcome back to High Hope Sportscast. JJ, how is it going?
Hey, Mr. DJ, what's up over there?
Not much. Man, what a crazy series for these Timberwolves, man. That's where we're gonna lead off. Man,
Bummer City, man.
it's been a really good series, but holy cats, man.
If you could make one comment about what, obviously, to let the viewers and listeners know, you were at Game 4, being there and watching the whole series. What 2 words could you say about the series right now?
I don't know if I just sum it up in 2 words, but disappointing and entertaining, I guess.
Yeah, those are 2 good ways to go with it. It just feels like you get wrapped up into the game, and pretty soon it's the 4th quarter with 5 minutes left to go, and you don't know which way it's going to go, really, because of I'd say the officiating, number one, has been just. I don't like it when refs do makeup calls, because that means they're making bad calls if they have to do a makeup call. And
Taylor Jenkins, the coach for the Grizzlies, he was complaining about the refs after Game 4, and he eventually got fined, I think $15,000 for his comments about the refs after that game, calling them arrogant and this and that. And but to be honest, I mean, he was opposing team's head coach against us, but to be honest, he was right about some things. So, I mean, I'm not gonna put him down for complaining about stuff. I mean, some of those calls were, you could clearly see that they were wrong. Even, being a Timberwolves fan, we're playing against you, but man, I gotta agree with him on some of that stuff. So, and Paul Allen said that he thinks that it was kind of a strategic move by him saying that. So maybe that way the refs would kind of lay off of them, get them more calls to go their way in the next game. Well, I don't know. It's kind of crappy on both ends for officiating in Game 5 last night. It was just horrible.
I totally agree with the comment that Paul Allen made after I thought about it, and I was replaying it just a little bit ago before we started the show. It is a strategic move when a coach comes out and verifies or specifies that the refereeing is not up to standard. And obviously, if one side says it, don't you think that our coach should have came out and said the same thing just
Right.
to combat it, so it wouldn't have been one-sided in Game 5.
But maybe Coach Finch didn't want that fine, or that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so to go over the last 3 games, we've played 3 games since our last show. So going back to Game 3, which was the first one in Minnesota.
Yep.
So the Wolves fall to the Grizzlies in Game 3, 104-95. We came out really hot in that game. The biggest lead we had was 26 points. I thought we were gonna run away with that game. I thought we had it in the bag. I just think that the Wolves got too confident in that lead, and they let off the gas, let Memphis get back into the game, and then we got rattled, gave up the lead, and resulting in the loss. I don't know. I was pretty pissed off. I don't know if I was more pissed off in Game 3 or last night. I would kind of have to go with Game 3 just because of the amount of points we were up by, dude. Like, I can't even put it into words how pissed off I was. And then to top it off, Charles Barkley
Yeah.
at the post-game show calls the Wolves the dumbest team in the NBA.
Yep.
Like, come on, dude. That's a real class act by you, Charles. You don't even have any freaking rings. You can't even talk. So just sit down. Man,
And he rephrased it, DJ. He said that I don't mean that the players are dumb. I mean the ownership and the coaching staff are dumb. And what he meant by that, I don't know, to kind of break it down a little bit, is with a 26-point lead, DJ, we continued to hack up threes. And we went cold, allowing Memphis. Do you like Memphis's offensive game better than the Timberwolves' offensive game, or would you rather ride with the Timberwolves' offensive style? Memphis does a lot of stuff in the paint, and Timberwolves are more on the perimeter.
Both of them have their advantages and disadvantages, just like everything else. But I think Paul Allen said today, Memphis's offense isn't like out of the water good. They play good defense.
Yeah.
That's why, when Memphis is down, that coach over there is calm as can be because he knows that his team can play defense. So, but I would have to go with our offense. But I do agree with one thing. We play ISO offense way too much. Anthony Edwards
I agree.
goes ISO way too much. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And D'Lo even. Like, I don't know what's up with D'Lo in this series, but I mean, I don't say ditch the ISO altogether, but we do it way too often. You see the Ant or D'Lo just wave everyone off like, okay, how many times have we done this already? Like, let's run an actual play, dude.
I think people are starting to catch on to this isolation play, especially with Anthony Edwards. And I'm not being hard on Anthony, but he fails a lot more than he has success at this young age. He takes a lot of risky shots out the perimeter when there's nobody down low to rebound, and he's pulling up for the J. He's got a lot of confidence. I don't want him to lose that. But, back to D'Lo, we are all as fans. He is a max play. He's a max contract player, DJ. He's not doing enough right now. The games 4 and games 5. To read his stats from game 3, he actually had a good game, but that's despite Karl Anthony Towns. Towns only played 33 minutes. He had 8 points, 5 boards, and 1 assist. D'Lo picked up the slack with 22 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. And you were right about jumping out to a good lead. At the end of the first quarter, the Timberwolves were up 39-21. And then in the second and fourth quarter, guess how many points we were able to manage? It was the same.
I don't remember.
A dozen.
Oh yeah. Now I remember.
So at the half, it was 44-51. We were up by 7. We get out to the end of the third. We had a 9-point advantage. We scored 32 to their 23. So it was 67-83. So we were up by 16 going in to the fourth quarter, and we let them score 37 in the fourth to our dozen in the fourth for a final of 104-95. And
Yeah,
DJ, the thing about it is, you're right. Their coach is calm and collective, knowing that they have better defense at certain points. And when their starters are on the court, and they're very deep into their bench, I don't think people give them credit for that. So
I mean, look at Jaren Jackson. He's in foul trouble every single game early. And
yeah, I feel
Brandon
bad for
Clark
him.
comes in there. Yeah, Brandon Clark has been a monster this series.
I definitely agree with that comment. We'll get to game 5 and talk more about him, but moving on to game 4, it's
game
go ahead,
4.
DJ. Tell them everything you want to tell them.
So game 4, I didn't take many pictures as I said I was going to. I actually took videos, but I couldn't. I can share them, but I couldn't share them with sound, so I apologize about that. It doesn't really make sense to share them without the audio. I do have this one picture. This is without zooming in. This was the view from our seats. We were up there, but it was still, man, it was electric. And this isn't even what the stands looked like. If you can kind of see the scoreboard up there, we were sitting down already with like 44 minutes left till game time. So, we left our house at about 3 p.m. The game didn't start till 9, so stopped and had supper before hitting the cities. Got parked at about 6 o'clock. Had to wait till 7:30 when the gates opened. And then once we got in, we went to the team store. It was you couldn't even turn around in that place, dude. It was just so packed, and it's smaller than the team store before they re-renovated. I was like, this.
It's smaller than the old one?
It looked like it. And they had a lot less stuff in it. I was like, the only jerseys that they had on the racks were they had a rack of Cat jerseys, and they had a rack of Pat Bev jerseys.
That's it?
That was it. The only Anthony Edwards jerseys I saw were for kids.
They must have sold out before the playoffs or game number 3?
I don't know, but you think that for the playoffs you'd have a full stock because you're gonna have a packed house.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I got a shirt. We got a shirt from my daughter, and then I ended up getting a big. It looks like a bear claw, but it's probably a Timberwolves claw. It's a foam. We thought she'd like that. And then the first time I was in the team store, I looked at a Pat Bev jersey. It was in my size, and I was like, no. So we go up, sit at our seats. Well, before that, we the only place they had mini donuts was the first level, and our seats were on the second level. So we got mini donuts before we went upstairs, got a pop, and then we got to our seats. And time went on. We are just sitting there watching the players warm up, and I kept thinking to myself, God, I should really go back down and get that Pat Bev jersey. And finally, I don't know, there was like 15 minutes to go before tip off. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back down there quick. So I went down there, finally got to the team store. I went the wrong way, the long way. And then get there, and my size is down. All they had was mediums and smalls. I was like, oh man, I should have got it before. So I missed out on that. But with that, when we got home, I don't know, the next day, I actually ordered one online. So me and my wife are gonna share it. She wanted a jersey too. She wanted to go back already. Last night, she's like, I was watching it on TV. She's like, I already looked up tickets for Game 6, and I was like,
Oh wow.
oh yeah, but they were really expensive. They were like about double of what we paid for our seats before, and they were about the same seats. So
holy cow. Say
and there
DJ,
wasn't
when you
many
got
seats
your
left.
when you got your drink, which was probably a soda, was it in a souvenir cup?
Yep, I got a souvenir cup.
Oh, I'd
It's
like to
just
see
clear.
that. Yeah.
It's clear, and then it in black it says Wolves back. And then
Cool.
every seat had a rally towel on it too. So
Oh yeah. So you and your wife got one of them?
yep.
Awesome, dude.
So yeah, and then
Did you get a program too?
no, I didn't see any.
Oh, okay.
And then yeah, after the game, we didn't get out of the parking ramp until 1 a.m. and we had a couple hour drive. Got back home at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. It makes
But
for a long Sunday.
yeah, it was. It was. We were pretty tired the next day.
Yeah.
So to get into that game 4, first of all, dude, that place was loud. I know you could hear it on TV, but being there was just a whole different level, dude. Oh my god, it was electric in there. The Wolves ended up tying up the series 2-2 with a 119 to 118 win. We almost gave it away in the end of that one too, but we held on. Like you said, I think it was the best game of the series to go to. I picked the right game to go to. Yeah,
You did.
and Cat had a good game. I think he scored like 33 points in that game, so that was awesome. And another protester ran onto the field or onto the court.
Dude, that was the most. I've never seen anything like that on live TV. I thought she had a referee shirt on underneath her sweater, dude.
Yeah,
and she was just about to rip her sweater off, and she got tackled out of nowhere. And that was the end of her.
Yeah, I've seen so many videos from different angles, different people. The security guard that tackled her was sitting, I don't know, about 3 chairs down from them. And even in the highlights, like earlier on in the game, even I don't think they were there at all in the first quarter, but the second quarter, that security guard was sitting there and staring at them the whole time. So he knew that they looked suspicious to begin with. And just she barely even touched the court, and that he was already on the court ready to tackle her. And I know when it happened, my wife had come back from the bathroom, so I didn't get to see the very beginning of it happening. But I know you texted me and you said, "Is that Batman on the court or something like that?"
Yeah, dude. Did you know that when we have a protest in either Memphis or Minnesota, the Timberwolves win?
Yeah, I told my wife that. I said there's no protesters last night. That's why we lost. And she's like, "Do you want to go protest on Friday to make sure we win?" I was like, "No,
Sweet.
it's not worth the jail time for that."
No. You got to make sure you're running the camera, DJ. But yeah, I wanted to give you some stats. Yeah, like you said, at Carl Anthony, that was his best game, and he played 42 minutes that night, DJ.
Holy.
So he played all but 6 minutes with the 33 points, the 14 boards, 3 assists, and of course Anthony Edwards, 24, 4 and 4. And the third wheel, D'Lo, he didn't quite come through on the points end, only scoring 10, but he had 7 assists and 2 boards in 35 minutes. So, Jordan McLaughlin, what you were going to talk about here? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say I wanted to give a player spotlight that doesn't really get the spotlight very much, and that's J-Mac, Jordan McLaughlin. I think he had, what did he have, 16 points?
Yep.
And he was just going off with those threes. I was like, man, we could have used him, in the other 3 games. Maybe we would have won if we would have played J-Mac more.
Yeah, Coach Finch had made mention of that it was kind of his fault that he didn't integrate J-Mac in sooner in this series. But hitting on the three-pointers, DJ, we were 18 for 36 for 50% on 3 points that night. And Memphis was 15 for 32, which is 47%. But what is the deal with the Memphis Grizzlies can't make a free throw?
Well, I think that it's mainly Brandon Clark. He can't make a free throw. And I don't know. Paul Allen said, maybe we need to go to strategy of Hacker Clark.
That's what you meant by that. Yeah. Totally.
Yep.
Now I get what you were saying.
Yeah, Hacker Clark.
I don't think Clark would be playing as much if Triple J would be in foul trouble. Are they picking on him and Carl Anthony Towns, the refs? Or are they deliberately making stupid penalties?
But I kind of always thought that maybe we are kind of trying, I guess in a way, trying to get Jaren Jackson to foul to get him into foul trouble early. That way he gets taken out. So I kind of felt like that. I kind of felt like that they were doing that with Ja too a couple of games. I think a couple of games Ja had a couple of quick fouls very early in the game, and I was like, maybe he'll get taken out for a while and we can run up the lead.
See, the game you were at, Ja only managed 11 points, but he did have 15 dimes and 8 rebounds. So he's been floating around a triple-double every game. He was not scoring until about game 5, and that's where we're headed to next.
Yeah. So with the series tied 2-2, we go back to Memphis for game 5, which was last night.
Yep.
No, like we said, no protesters last night, so we didn't have any drama with that. Wolves started out not doing very good. We were down double digits early, but we came surging back and had a double-digit lead till late in the fourth quarter, and we were in foul trouble. Pat Bev actually fouled out, which Pat Bev fouled out, which that majorly took a toll on our defense. Pat Bev
Yes.
is by far our best defensive player on the team. And I mean, probably, the biggest leader on that team. To be honest, without Pat Bev, I don't think we would have made the playoffs. To be
I
honest.
agree, DJ. I mean, he came from the LA Clippers, so it was very emotional for him during the play-in game. If you remember, he was jumping on the table, threw his jersey into the stands, ran around, hugged every Clipper player like he missed them, and then he went talked to a few people media-wise, and he was bawling, crying on his way out of Target Center. So, but I don't. People are so hard on that guy. It's like he does a little bit of everything. There's nothing wrong with that. He doesn't have to put up 30, but this day and age, they want your point guards to do 20 and 10, which would be 20 points, 10 assists. But if he can lock down guys like Paul George and Ja Morant, he's very valuable. And we saw that late in the game last night. Ja come back to orbit last night. He made a big three late in the game. He started making his free throws later in the game. I just think he felt more comfortable. And when you start getting in a guy's head like Pat Beverly does, it was very evident coming out of Ja Morant that he was getting to John. When Beverly disappeared, nobody else has that vocal attitude. And we really missed him last night late in the game. I totally agree with you, DJ.
Yeah, and then Anthony Edwards sat out for a while with 5 fouls.
Yep.
So that hurt as well. And then, man, what did you say about Ja Morant last night? Oh my God! And I was thinking about it. It didn't cross my mind until earlier today. I feel like I jinxed us because
You do? What?
Yeah, because don't you remember last night we were watching the game. I texted you and I said, I texted you and I said, I'm not complaining, but what happened to Ja Morant's 3-point shot?
Oh.
And then he comes up clutch and hits a 3.
Oh, DJ, it was your fault.
Oh my God.
I know, but some stats, DJ, we were up 3 points, 31-28 at the end of the first quarter. We were up 55. It was 55-53 at half. And then we were up 85-74. So we were up 11 points going into the fourth. We got it to 13, and they outscored us 37-24, which was an 11-point or 13-point differential to win by 2. What were you thinking on that last play of the game? Didn't Anthony Edwards go the wrong way?
So I actually saw, I think on Twitter, Ant actually kind of took the blame for that loss last night. He said he already had his mind made up that he was gonna try and steal the ball, and he shouldn't have, and that's how Ja Morant got to the basket for that layup. And yeah, he blames himself for that loss basically. So he went for the steal. He gambled and he came up short. Ja went right by him, and that was the game. But even before that, after that posterizing dunk over Malik Beasley, right there, I was like, the momentum has completely gone to Memphis.
Yeah, you said that in the text message. You go, that's it. I'm going to call game. They're not coming back, and you were ultimately right again. So maybe we need to get a line from Finch to Olsen and see if we can get some type of communication going on here if we're going to win this game 6. My expectations will be that Anthony Edwards is going to have a big game in game 6.
And Cat needs to have a big game too. I mean, the whole team does, but your big players like that, Anthony Edwards, Cat, D'Lo for sure. Those 3 guys right there, they have to have a good game for sure. Even if we make it past this series, the rest of the playoffs, it's playoffs, man. Like I don't know how to explain it, but going back to
you're right.
John,
You're right, DJ. It's playoffs.
Right. You can't be slacking. I mean, you shouldn't be in the regular season, but you're in the playoffs. You don't be effing around.
No.
But going back to John Morant's dunk quick.
Yeah.
If I'm Malik Beasley, I'm turning my phone off for a week. Because that's all you see on Twitter is John Morant just posterizing Malik Beasley.
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely going to be on a lot of posters in Memphis, Tennessee.
Dude, he tried to do a second one, but he missed the dunk. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That guy, John Morant, he can jump so darn high.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a little guy. He's like 6'2", like 180.
Yeah.
And he can jump above the rim. But did you see his dad's T. Morant sitting next to Usher?
Yeah, I did.
There was so many people kept saying that looks like Usher. It looks like Usher. Then they come out in game 5 and all of a sudden Usher, T. Morant are sitting next to each other. There was a lot of people there that were a lot of big name celebs were at that game 5.
Yeah. So, yeah, off to game 6, back to the Target Center Friday night. We don't know what the time is going to be yet. It hasn't been announced. But come on, Wolves, let's tie this series back up at 3-3 and let's force a game 7 and let's go back to Memphis and send the Memphis fans home mad. And let's move on in this playoffs.
Yes. As for the other series, DJ, the Bulls are down by 16 to the Bucks. That's a 3-1 series for Milwaukee. Philly leads the Raptors 3-2. They're going to be in game 6 tomorrow. Miami won yesterday, so they clinched the first round over Atlanta 4-1. And later tonight, the Joker will take on Steph Curry, and it sounds like they're going to run Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Steph Curry all in the same starting lineup. So watch out for the rain show out in Oakland tonight later on.
Yeah, I think the Nuggets will get eliminated tonight.
I thought, it's you got an MVP and Joker, but dude, he can't do it all. And that's kind of how I felt about Milwaukee when Middleton went down with an ACL injury. But maybe Giannis is a little different, but they have a lot more talent, I think, in Milwaukee right now than they do in Denver.
And Chicago is going to be without Levine and Caruso, so I think the Bulls are going to be done here.
Your favorite player went into the safety protocol yesterday?
Yeah, I heard that.
That's too bad. I like Zach LaVine back in the day. I still would follow him now even and play with him on games and such, but it just seems like he can't get the break. They bring in DeMar DeRozan and they got Vucevic there for their kind of semi-big 3, and they were really hot to start the middle of the year, and it just, I don't know if it was just injury or lack of production, but looks like they're going to be eliminated tonight.
All right, moving on to back to the NFL. Before we get deep into the NFL here, I got a trivia question quick here for you, JJ. So here it is.
What do we
There's
got?
only one team that has not played in nor hosted a Super Bowl. Who is that team?
One team that has not played in nor hosted a Super Bowl. Who is that team? Give me 1 second to think here.
No doodling.
How'd you know? Is it the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Nope.
They've played in one but haven't hosted one. The
It is an
Texans.
AFC team. Nope.
It's not the Texans?
Nope.
Huh. It's an AFC team, you're saying.
The Super Bowl has been in Houston before.
It has?
Yeah. NRG Stadium.
Oh, Energy Stadium.
And well, NRG.
DJ. Oh. Jeez.
They've had very bad luck with quarterbacks for as long as I can remember.
Is it Cleveland Browns?
Yes, sir.
So they don't count their early championships, but they've never hosted a Super Bowl, and they never played in one.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Huh. That's pretty cool. To write that one down.
All right, so moving on, we the end of the show is going to be our main focus, so we gotta kind of pick it up. We've spent a lot of time on the Wolves. Tom Brady, the Bucs restructured his contract, which cleared up $9 million in cap space. Man, I don't know how many times I think Tom Brady's done this. He's a team player, even though I wish he would just retire and stay retired. But I gotta give it to him. He does stuff for the team. So it's kind of cool to see that he's still doing that.
Do you think it's Giselle telling him to keep playing, or do you think it's Tom himself?
I think it's him.
Yeah.
He loves the game. He's addicted to the game. So, and now, he retired and he came back. Now he's talking about playing till he's 50.
No.
That's what I heard.
Oh. What's he going to be, 44 or 45 this coming season?
44.
I know we've asked this a million times on this segment.
Yeah, Grandpa Brady.
Yeah, the TikTok, that was wild.
All right, and then another Tom Brady thing. I think JJ, you sent me this a Twitter post.
Yep.
Reportedly, the Dolphins were planning on offering a second-round pick for Tom Brady and a first-round pick for former head coach Sean Payton. Now, that I literally, when I read that, I had to reread it, and then I had to laugh afterwards, because if you think that the Buccaneers were gonna just give you Tom Brady for a second-round pick, you've got to be I don't even know what. You've got to be clinically insane if you think that a team is going to give up Tom Brady for a second round pick. Come on.
Is it funny? Like, it's hysterical because that's not what anybody would expect, or is that his market value at 44 to be a second round pick? I don't know.
I mean, it's the GOAT, man. He's worth more than a second round pick.
Most definitely. I mean, could you imagine the short routes he could run with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill? like they used to do back in the day with their guys up in New England?
Yeah. Miami would definitely be a contender, and then he'd have to go play his old friend Billy Boy twice
Billy
twice a
boy.
year.
Oh, Billy boy. Yeah, that would be fun football to watch, actually. I'd probably tune in.
All right, and then the NFL announced recently the NFL schedule will be released on Thursday, May 12th. I think it's at like 7 or 8 o'clock. It was a late time. I don't remember exactly, but plus there will be 3 games on Christmas Day this year for the first time ever. So I believe NBA already does that. So that'll be interesting, I guess.
I'll
Something
put
to
a little
do.
competition between NBA and NFL
Yeah.
because NBA does a game at 11, 1, 3:30, 5, 7:30, and 9. So maybe they won't do as many this year. Maybe they'll only go early and late or something if the Christmas games are like 11 and 3 and maybe a evening game. I don't know. It'll be interesting to follow that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I mean, it I don't know, it's nice, but then again, it kind of sucks. I'm like, it just let the players have the holiday to be with their families and stuff, but
I wonder if they get double pay for that. You know, like for hourly people that work the minimum wage or medium range jobs, they get extra pay for working on holidays. I just wonder if the athletes get double pay or incentive to play on them days
right?
because
Yeah,
they
that'd
don't
be
have a choice. They really don't have a choice.
all right. Yeah, we're making time and a half today, boys.
Yeah, this is my $2 million day.
Right? All right. And then the last thing is we got JJ's mock draft through picks 1 through 12. So I made a ticker. I'll have all 12 picks on there. So I'll just have kind of give the floor to JJ a little bit here and have him briefly talk about his picks. So here we go.
Okay, you started the trick. So, the consensus number one pick, we just don't really know yet who that's going to be. And at this stage of the draft, there could be a lot of fluctuation on what teams decide to do. But I believe Jacksonville, number one, is going to take Trayvon Walker, defensive end edge rusher out of Georgia. And he's 6'5", 265. He really impressed at the combine. And the next pick, Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan Wolverines. He is also a defensive end. I think you can look between Kayvon Thibodeau, Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker, and rearrange them in the top 7 to see where they all fall. But Aiden's going to go to his home state, Detroit Lions, at number 2.
313.
313, 8 Mile. But yeah, Texans are going to break down and draft a 6'7", 350 offensive tackle named Evan Neal, who has started 3 years for Alabama. And number 4, who DJ and I have talked a lot about on our show, is Ahmad Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. He's a 6'3", 200-pound cornerback with a C. There is talk that the Texans might be looking at a corner later around this time of the year. We'll find out tomorrow night where Sauce Gardner and our boy, who I have at 12, Derek Stingley Jr., come off the board. As you'll see, Ike Ekonwu, the big right guard tackle from North Carolina State, going to the Giants at 5. And I have Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty, going to the circus. The Carolina Panthers at 6. And earlier in the year, we all thought that Kayvon Thibodeau, the edge rusher from the Oregon Ducks University, and I believe DJ follows them a little bit, we have him falling down to 7 and going out east to play with the New York Football Giants. 8, I had a tough decision to make, but I actually give them in my opinion, Garrett Wilson from Ohio State University to the Atlanta Falcons. His comp is equal to Stephon Diggs, and we all know how good Diggs was in Minnesota. Now, 9, with Seattle Seahawks, there was potential that they would take a wide receiver due to the fact that their big dog would be gone. Who was that? What was his name again, DJ?
For who?
DK Metcalf for the Seahawks was supposed to be traded, but now that DJ Dom has called it with Gang Green that Deebo Samuel will be going to the Jets, it kind of changes the Seahawks picks. And I have them going with a corner in Trent McDuffie out of Washington.
Well, that Jets thing for Deebo, it's not a done deal. It just said that they were the front runners. So
yeah,
it's looking like DJ Damas might end up being right on that one. That's crazy. It just
DJ Damas strikes again.
It was just a vision I had too. It just boom. I saw him in a Jets jersey, and that's what I said, and that could be coming true.
Now, if I see Mike Zimmer in silver and black this upcoming season, DJ, we're gonna take a few $100,000 and go to Vegas, I think.
Oh, and then go see Mike Zimmer because he'll be in Vegas.
Yeah, I predicted this.
Hey, Zim, how's it going, buddy?
So I have the Jets taking a edge rusher. This guy, Jermaine Johnson II, is from Minnesota. He played at Eden Prairie. He went to Georgia Bulldogs, and then he ended up playing at Florida State Seminoles. So I'm having the edge rusher go to the Jets. Kyle Hamilton will then fall the safety from Notre Dame, who's big. He's 6'3", 220. Probably could play any safety position or the smaller linebacker position. Very versatile. Going to the Washington Commanders at 11. And our boy, Derek Stingley Jr., magically makes it to 12. But I'm going to tell you this, DJ. It's never easy doing a preemptive mock draft. That's why I looked up a few other guys that were doing mock drafts. I didn't take any of my stuff from any of them. I just did it on my own based off the team need. So Bucky Brooks, as of today, has Jameson Williams, the big wide receiver from Alabama, coming off at 12 to Minnesota. What do you think about that, DJ?
Who was it?
Jameson Williams. He has a knee injury and he'll start the season on the PUP list, but he put up some huge numbers with Bryce Young in Alabama.
Yeah.
What would you think about an upper echelon receiver coming in at 12?
There's a lot of talks about it. But I don't know. With Thielen and Jefferson, but someone did make a good point today that, in a couple of years, you're going to get the invoice for Justin Jefferson, and it's going to be a hefty number. So,
yeah,
it kind of makes sense to get a receiver that you'll have on the cheap for a while. and then you can pay Jefferson his money while having another really good receiver for cheap. Save yourself some money. We might end up losing Adam Thielen in that process, but like I said before, I've kind of seen it coming. I don't think we're going to be able to keep both Adam and Jefferson, maybe even not past beyond this year. So I might. It's sad to say, but I think this is probably the last year that Thielen and Jefferson will be on the same team.
Yeah, I have to agree. My feelings about the Minnesota wide receiver room is I'm very high on all those guys. And I would welcome the style of play that a 6'3", 215-pound receiver from Alabama would bring to the room. Could you imagine if we somehow kept Thielen with a Jamison Williams and a Jet?
Oh, man. Kwesi'd have to find some money in his couch cushions or something for that.
Yeah, the cap is a myth, as they say. Just to let you know, two other guys also selected Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington. Now, I had him going off before us, but there's a probability that Derek Stingley is not going to make it to 12. And I think, which is another guy's prediction, that we would trade down with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh would take a quarterback at 12, and we would take cornerback out of Clemson, Andrew Booth. He's a tall, lanky corner. But I just hope that somebody's going to fall DJ to 12. What are we going to do? Are we going to trade back? Are we going to take BPA? Or is it Stingley all the way or nothing? I don't know yet. We'll find out tomorrow.
I don't know. I to be honest about Stingley, I think he's gonna be gone before 12.
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely think, and I think McDuffie, I don't think he's gonna be in the top 12.
You don't think he'll be in the top 12?
No.
I think he'll be available at 12. I think he's the third corner out of the top three corners. I think number one is Ahmed Sauce Gardner. Number two is Stingley Jr. Number three is McDuffie. But
and I think your Washington pick, Kyle Hamilton, I strongly think that Washington is going to go offense instead of defense.
See, I when I look at mine, I was thinking Washington really wants Garrett Wilson, but he's going to be off the board by the time he gets to 11. They get to 11. So I just don't see him reaching on a receiver, DJ. If the Garrett Wilson's not there, because Garrett Wilson is a top 5 draft potential star for the next upcoming league as a rookie. And I have him going off to the Falcons at 8. But somebody's going to fall to 12. I think you're right, DJ. I think Hamilton's going to go probably at 7 or maybe 8. And I don't know. Some people have sauce.
Are you talking Hamilton or Stingley?
I think both of them are going to go off a little higher than 11 and 12.
Yeah.
But when I started piecing this together, it's like these other major guys, these ends and receivers, because there's a big dollar amount on tackles, edge rushers, and receivers right now, and that's your 3 big talents of the draft this year is speed. But that's hard to analyze because you don't know what the teams plan on doing, if they're going to take best player available or BPA, if they're going to go with need at a high pick, which a lot of teams don't do in this era. Quarterback used to be the big pick at the top 3, and there really isn't a quarterback, in my opinion. I've seen Malik Willis going to Detroit at too on some of the mock drafts.
I've heard that too a lot in the last couple of days. I don't know. I kind of don't want to see him to go into Detroit.
I don't either, to be honest. I
But-
don't want to see him twice a year.
Here's a question, and
Okay.
they talked about it on 9 to Noon today.
Okay.
If you say you don't trade up, you don't trade down, we stay at 12.
Yep.
12 pick rolls around, and the quarterback that you like the most in the draft is Malik Willis. He's there at 12. What do? Do you take him? Because say, if you like him, beforehand you have a conversation with Kirk and be like, hey, this is what we're thinking. This is a situation we just wanted to let you know, so you're not caught off guard. It, and he's all right with it. The accuracy, I've heard Malik Willis isn't as accurate as they'd like him to be, but Kirk, as we know, he's a very accurate passer. So to sit behind Kirk, I mean, it makes sense. If you're in love with Malik Willis, and he's there, and they're projecting him not to be there by 12, but if for some reason he is, do you take him at 12?
Well, to be a fly on the wall in the room of the draft room Vikings tomorrow night, it's similar to what the Packers did 2 seasons ago with Jordan Love.
Well, instead of helping to get him.
Yeah, instead of helping the team, they got a backup quarterback. Because he ain't going to play over Aaron Rodgers. And honestly, I don't see Malik Willis playing over Kirk, to be honest.
No, but, I mean, I don't know. At this point with Kirk Cousins didn't have to
win the Super Bowl.
Take us to the Super Bowl for me to want to extend him again. So
I don't think anybody really wanted to extend Kirk when we got KOC and Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. I think we were all anticipating that was the end of number 8. But now I'm hearing things from all sorts of YouTubers. KOC loves Kirk. KOC loves Kirk. Kirk can go above and beyond for what he can do for this team these next 2 seasons. So they're liking what they're seeing out of Kirk in this new brand of offense. But he is 34. He'll be 36 at the end of the contract. Do we get a quarterback this year? Or do we roll the dice and see how far we can go with Kirk and the crew this year and wait to see what happens? If we do terrible, then there are some great prospects coming up in this next year's draft. Where was that going to be again, DJ? It's not in Detroit. Was it Detroit or was it Kansas City?
Kansas City. Kansas City is next year, I think.
Yeah, Kansas City and then Detroit.
Yeah, something like that. I know Detroit's somewhere in there, but I'm pretty sure Kansas City is next year. But going back to Kirk, or getting a quarterback next year, that's another piece of the puzzle that they were talking about. Someone said, as of right now, the Vikings would be considered a playoff team. So, if we go into the playoffs, we're not going to have that high of a pick next year. So we're not going to have very good options for quarterbacks in the draft next year. So you either trade up this year, or if like I said, if Malik Willis falls down to 12 somehow, do you take him? You get your quarterback now plus be a playoff team, and then you don't get a high draft pick next year, but you already got your quarterback, and he's already sat behind Kirk for a year already. There's so many different ways to look at it.
Dude, I'd make a prediction that if Malik is there at 12, we will have some favorable, and I mean favorable trade options.
Yeah.
And that would be my prediction. We wouldn't draft at 12, but Malik would go off at 12 if he's there.
But at this point, I can't see Carolina and Seattle passing on him.
You're right, DJ. It's pick 6 and pick 9, and then it would be pick 12. Maybe the Commanders would sneak in on him if he's there at 11. I don't know.
Right?
I don't think.
Maybe.
Do you fully believe in what's his name?
Carson Wentz?
Yeah, Carson Wentz. They must believe in Wentz because they give him a 2-year contract, but I still think if he's there at 11, why not?
When Wentz is completely healthy, I trust him.
He's class.
But he's not completely healthy too often. So maybe I don't know. It would be kind of dumb for them to realize it now because they already traded to get Wentz, but maybe they're like, oh, hey, this guy is really injury prone. Maybe we should look at drafting a quarterback. But I don't know. That might make them look dumb as well. Like, you just traded for Carson Wentz, but now you're going to draft a quarterback? That makes no sense.
No. And just to go back to other picks that have been seen in mock drafts, Kyle Hamilton, safety, 6'4", 220, has been mocked to the Vikings. I told you about the big boy last week, the 6'6", 341-pound Jordan Davis, D-tackle out of Georgia. Those are 2 new names that they've added. Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State, Trent McDuffie. And then Chad Reuter put out a full 7-rounder. Now, according to this, we don't have a 4th-round pick this year. Did you know that, DJ?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either. And the 2nd round was pick 46. We take Louis Cine, a safety out of Georgia. I guess he's really good. And anybody from this Georgia team that's coming out is a minimum of a 4-star, 5-star prospect. So the 3rd round at pick 77, they have us taking a tight end out of Virginia, Jelani Woods, who tested out extremely well at the combine. And then it jumps to the 5th round, pick 156 is Jesse Lukta. He's an edge rusher from Penn State. So, honestly, this will be my last take on pick 12. I think ultimately we're trading down. And we are listed as 4 teams that are going to be in the trade-heavy market come draft night, which is tomorrow night. It's on ABC, it's on ESPN, and it's on the NFL Network for those that want to follow along. And they are still doing NFL.com underneath the draft category is predict the pick, and that's kind of how I formulated my first 12 picks, which I went on and completed a mock draft of round 1. And I'll be competing in that tomorrow night as well. So,
yeah, I mean, with Kwesi and JOC both being first-year head coach, GM, I've said it numerous times. I'll say it again. We don't know what to expect. I mean,
no.
But
no.
I guess I gotta say I blindly trust Kwesi just because, he just got here. So that's why I say blindly. But He just seems like a guy that I can trust more than I could Rick Spielman. So I feel good about whatever he's gonna do, and it might not be so exciting in like right away. Like if we trade down, that just means next year will be even more exciting because I would assume if we trade down, Quasey's gonna want at least a first round pick for next year.
Yep.
That'd be smart. So
Yeah. And I think you're right, DJ. It's blind. We're going into this blind with a new coach and a new GM. But I do have a lot of faith in this smart guy. He is so intelligent. He ain't gonna do the dumb stuff. I'm not gonna accumulate 6th and 7th round picks like Spielman did. He's gonna accumulate 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks, and that's kind of the plan we got to have moving forward if we're gonna build this roster back with talent.
I did see a comment about Quasey. He said that there's not enough amount of 7th round picks that will equal a 1st round pick. And I was like, I read that and I was like, someone should have told Rick Spielman this years ago.
That's funny, DJ. So at least we know he's not on Rick's coattails. That's for sure.
All right. All right. Well, that's it for our draft talk. So yeah, this will be our last show. Our next episode, which it might not be next Wednesday. I got something going on next Wednesday, so it'll either be before Wednesday or we might have to take the week off. We'll be posting about it, keep you guys updated. So look for that. So we'll be watching the draft tomorrow night, and we'll have answers. We'll have a lot to talk about in the next episode about the draft. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And before we wrap up, I got one more trivia question for you, JJ.
Yes.
All right, here we go. There has only been 3 players that have caught passes after they had turned 40 years old. Who are those 3 players?
Jerry Rice.
Yep, that's
Tom
one.
Brady.
Yeah.
And the third one, 40-year-old. Is it an old school player, DJ?
I mean, not like old, but like not in the 90s, early 2000s. Well, late 90s into 2000s.
Probably somebody I should know. Tim Brown.
Yes. No.
No?
Nope.
40-year-old receiver. Well, it was a receiver, wasn't it? Or was it a tight end?
I can't tell you the position.
Was it Tony Gonzalez, was it?
Nope.
Oh.
I'm really surprised you got the Tom Brady one. But I thought I figured you did Jerry Rice, but I thought the other 2 you wouldn't get. It would kind of like blow your mind. But you got Tom Brady.
What was the third one, DJ?
He's been on 4 different teams. Let's see. He was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta
And
Falcons.
he is not a receiver or a tight end.
Was it Deion Sanders?
Nope. He doesn't play defense. He didn't play defense either. Think outside the box. Not someone that really catches passes at all.
Atlanta. Was it Brett Favre?
Yes, There you go.
Jeez, Brett Favre was that in the Viking purple?
I honestly don't know, but I saw that. I read that question. I saw the answers, and I was like, "Oh, this one's gonna be a hard one for him." But I'm surprised you got Tom Brady.
You knew I'd get Jerry for sure, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Well, I knew that Tom Brady was a trick question. That was the second guy that came to mind, but I never thought of Brett. Because not a lot of players make it to 40, DJ.
right.
So I know
But
Tom Brady
him
caught a
being
pass.
him being, them being quarterbacks, that you don't think of quarterbacks catching a pass. So I figured
Yeah,
it kind of. I thought I
it's a
would have
good
stumped you, but
it's good trivia.
all right. Well, that's all we got for this week's episode.
Hey,
A lot of
DJ.
yeah.
Where can they go watch your cool videos from the game 4?
Oh, that would be well. I got it on High Hopes Instagram. High
Okay.
Hopes. I didn't put them all on Twitter, but I got them on my personal Facebook. So if you need to go check them out there. Most of them that I took are on there. I don't think. Yeah, maybe I did put them all on Facebook. So yeah, if you want to watch the videos, I'm sorry I couldn't put them on the episode. It just wouldn't work with the sound. So yeah, go check them out on my personal Facebook page. Just DJ Olson. So yeah, a lot of Wolves talk and a lot of NFL draft talk. So we will be watching the NFL draft. I might send some tweets during the draft, maybe. So
Yeah.
all right, yeah. It's just don't make sure to go like, follow, and subscribe to our social media pages and our YouTube channel. The link is in this description. And that's all we got. We'll see you in the next episode. See ya.
Peace.